Good evening. Good evening. Can you hear me? Please put a one in chat if you can hear me. It's so if you cannot. I'm just lower my background noise. I'll be right back, guys. Play a real quick ad and I will be right back. As soon as I can get to it. Good evening. Good evening. Please put a one in chat if you can hear me. Put a two in chat if you cannot. I'm gonna play a real quick ad and I'm gonna lower my background noise and I'll be right back. And I'll give me a couple seconds, guys. Okay, great. Thank you guys for letting me know you can hear me. Shout out to you on comments for holding the phone. Thank you for pulling up. I'll be right back. I'm just lower my background noise, have some background noise, and I'll be right back. Play a quick ad.
Okay. I work out all the time. I can do lots of different moves. Have never been able to do one full push-up.
Push-ups are the best way to start your day.
I will try one standard push-up.
It's not the best push-up, but I can get down and get back up.
Okay. I work out all the time. I can do lots of different moves. Have never been able to do one full push-up.
Push-ups are the best way to start your day.
I will try one standard push-up.
It's not the best push-up, but I can get down and get back up.
Okay, guys. So thank you so much for popping in tonight. This was definitely an impromptu stream. I definitely never really go live on like a Friday night, but I was inspired to go live since I had so much activity going on my channel recently. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do a live stream. It'll be really short. It won't be really in depth, but I'm gonna definitely do a live stream. So happy weekend, TGIFs to all of you guys. I know it's been like a long weekend. These weekends be taking forever to come. And it goes so fast. Before we know it's already Sunday night. It's time to unwind and get back to going to bed early and all other good stuff. But I definitely want to send a special shout out to all of my new subs. Like I have a bunch of new subs and I am super excited about all of that. And at the end of the day, I just feel like, where would I be without you guys? So shout out to all my new subs. Please make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, notifications to all. I really appreciate that. Tonight's conversation is going to be about the 50 years celebration of hip hop, celebrating the culture, fair use. I definitely want to play, some little intros, some little stuff, so fair use. I definitely want to open up the stream with one of my favorite throwback hip hop songs back in the day when I was young. I would always play all the time to get hype with my girlfriends at home. My audio just moves. Sorry about that. I got my headphones in. Let me disconnect my headphones so you can actually hear what I'm playing right now. So this is one of my favorite drinks back in the day. It's a hip hop joint. Fair use. Okay, that's all I'm gonna play of that right there. But good evening, guys. 50 years of hip hop is so amazing to talk about the journey of hip hop, the culture. Where it started, where it evolved to what it is now. All our favorite hip hop artists, bands, duets. These things are so exciting to certain people. This is conversation not for everybody. A lot of people do not like hip hop. Not a lot of people didn't think hip hop should have gone as far as it went as a culture, as a movement, as a part of music. And R&B and soul and hip hop, but it has. It is the 50th year anniversary of hip hop, and that means something different to all of us. We all have a different idea of what hip hop means to you. I just pretty much showed y'all real quick. One of my favorite throwback joints, fair use. If you did not hear him, just play it one more time. One of my favorite joints from back in the day. Here we go.
You trying to take it back like that, fool? You about to kill him.
Okay, that's enough of that, but that's one of my favorite joints from back in the day. DJ Clue, Mary J. Blige, you may have heard it in the movie Belly with DMX and Nas and Terrell Hicks. You may have heard it on, so many mixtapes. You may have heard it, in other movies as well, but one of my favorite joints. Besides that, I want to, keep it on task and let you guys know a little bit about some of my favorite, when I think about the culture of hip hop, some of the people who I think of specifically, genuinely like real talk, some of the people I think about, not even people that are existing right now, but when I think about the culture of hip hop, I think about people like the Fat Boys, Run DMC, KRS-One, Naughty by Nature, Little Kim, Foxy Brown, the Fugees, Coogee and the Gap, Herman Kelly and Life, Heavy D and the Boys, Big Daddy Kane, Method Man, Dougie Fresh, Curtis Blow, Queen Latifah, Marky Mark, those are some of the people I think about when I think about, the culture of hip hop from, back in the day from my era. Of course, there's other people out there that go way beyond them, that inspired all those people, like there's so many people I can name, if I want to take it to my culture, being an 80s baby, being a millennial, I got people like Salt and Pepper, Biggie Smalls, Nas, Master P, Bad Boy, Missy Elliott, Jay Z, Onyx, the Lloyds Boys, Meek Mills, Tupac, Bone Thugs and Harmony, NWA, Snoop Dogg, The Game. Um, who else can I say? LL Cool J, Junior Mafia, Biz Markie, Busta Rhymes, Fabulous, Big Pun, Fat Joe, Jadakiss, Lil Wayne, Dipset, Ludacris, Luke, them franchise boys, Craig Mack, Puff Daddy, Wu Tang Clan, DMX. There's so many others I can really like just name and just say, okay, these are some of my favorites. I had their songs, I had their albums, I had, some kind of, recording of them in the house where I can play it, even if I didn't have the real deal kind of thing. But again, hip hop means something different to all of us. A lot of us right now are walking around the streets, or going to work, commuting out and about, and we're seeing the advertisements on social media, on the newspapers, in the subway stations, on billboards, in magazines. You're hearing about on news and media. 50 years of hip hop is a big deal because 50, hip hop wasn't, accepted initially, and they struggled to get to where it is. So it's a great thing to know that hip hop has made it 50 freaking years. That's a long, long way. But at the end of the day, it's growth, it's progress, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't easy. Just like I was talking about growth earlier in a couple of my streams earlier this week and last week. This is how you get to the bag, how you get to where you need to be at. But before I get into any more of hip hop and the culture, I want to do like a little chit chat. I should have started off with the chit chat thing, but chit chat real quick, chit chat. I was talking to my homegirl earlier today, and we was vibing for a few minutes. You know how the girls do. We get on the phone, we be laughing, talking a few hours, talking about everything. And we got on the topic of Trey Songz. And for those of you who don't know Trey Songz, he's one of those R&B guys who does a lot of collaborations with some hip hop guys and other R&B artists. Young male, black. I think he's from Virginia, somewhere down south, whatever the case is. Has a lot of hot albums and singles and collabos and duets, whatever the case is. He is definitely in the courts right now, back and forth on the low, or probably out there. I'm just in my own world. I haven't noticed it yet. But he is definitely in the court system right now for things I didn't even know about. We all heard about the scandal back in the day, allegedly, or a couple years ago, where some female said that he fondled them or touched them or, did some things to him. But I was just reading recently after talking to my friend earlier, as I said, this whole article about him, and it is just so ridiculous. So I want to just actually read some of this to you guys. And this article comes from Rolling Stone, and it was printed February 9th of 2023. It says a Jane Doe has filed a $25 million lawsuit against the singer, his recorded label, and manager over claims that the 38-year-old rapper her in 2016. This is by Cheyenne Roundtree. Trey Songz has been hit with a new $25 million lawsuit stemming from a previous sexual assault accusation, according to court documents obtained by Rolling Stones. The suit also names the R&B singer's label Atlantic Records, manager Kevin Liles, and 300 entertainers as defendants claim the party should be held responsible for the singer's action. The lawsuit filed in LA on Thursday is linked to a sexual battery lawsuit filed by a Jane Doe last February against the 38-year-old, real name Tremaine Neverson, over claims he sodomized the woman during a party in March 2016. In a statement given to Rolling Stone, Doe attorney George Rabbit calls out Atlantic Records, which signs Neverson in the early 2000s, as well as Neverson's manager Liles and 300, the label he co-founded, for effectively turning a blind eye to the growing number of accusations against the singer throughout the years. This case is much more than about one singer, one viciously abused sexual assault survivor who has the courage to take action. Rabbit says it's also very much about the systematic sexual abuse in the music industry and the music industry's complicity in silencing sexual abuse survivors. Now, I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to definitely look for the link to this article and put it in the chat for you guys who want to know who is Trey Songz. If you don't know who Trey Songz is, what am I talking about regarding sexual abuse allegations and him being in court, or, him paying for victims, anything like that. I'm going to pull up that article and put the link in the chat for you guys to see for yourself. I was just really so surprised how, I feel like I haven't really seen any media about this, but again, it could be out there and I could just be, in my own bubble, just missing it with my own stuff I got going on. But I'm put the link in the chat. You guys can look it up on your own, see what I'm talking about. And it's just really crazy because, again, there's so many men right now who are being accused of these sexual assaults, that are happening, and they're going quiet and hush for a good period of time. And sometimes by the time we find out about it, it's years later, and we don't even know what the whole tea is on what the hell actually happened. So let's see. There we go. So I just dropped the link to the chat right now regarding the article about Trey's songs. He has a lot of hit songs. Panty Dropper, Baby Makers. Gosh, like I really love his music. Just like a lot of people love R. Kelly's music, and I don't know what the outcome will be for Trey's song. But what I'm hearing right now, he's paying off a lot of the victims, a lot of the family members, NDAs, all the other good stuff to make them be quiet and not talk much about what the hell is going on. So if you heard about this conversation with Trey Songz and these rape victims or these women accusing abuse and all kind of sexual things that happen behind closed doors with him, please let me know. Put some conversation in the chat. Put some comments in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. If not, definitely hit the link to that. Copy that link. Hit the link. Read it for yourself. But very surprised. Like to this day, I have so many Trey Songz albums in my iPhone right now. So I'm just like, wow. Like it just really surprises me how so many of these men who, in my mind, I think are very attractive, very successful, have good connections and wealth, are going down for the same exact crime over and over and over again. It's like these men are so attractive and have so much money that they don't have to take anything from any woman. Women would just give themselves to them because of who they are on face value. In so many instances, I really don't feel like these men have to do this, but in a sense of proven guilty, I guess, right? But this is out there. Google it, search him. Tremaine Everson, Trey Songz, as we call him, very handsome guy, young guy, African American guy. Few albums that were hits. I'm not sure if he got awards and all that, but I ain't gonna raise all that tea. That's a lot to be saying. But Trey Songz, I can't believe he's out here really, taking advantage of women in this way. But I guess it'll be in the course, it'll be on TV like everyone else's dirty dark secrets ends up being on court, ends up being on TMZ, ends up becoming a Netflix special when people go through divorces and rapes and molestation, and all of a sudden becomes a documentary on Netflix. So, I'm hoping that ain't the case, but we can't be surprised if that is the case. But yeah, if y'all know about that Trey Songz tea, y'all should just hope me. I didn't know nothing about that damn Trey Songz tea, but that was a lot for me. I was like, no, not Tremaine, not him, not him. Like so many of these black men, so many of these men in general that are so successful, so wealthy, have it all, are just going down for like the dumbest shit. Right now, it's just like really crazy that they're letting themselves be taken down in this way by people, and it's just like work this hard to get somewhere, just let it all go because of what. Really, really crazy. But moving on, that's my little chit chat. I see no one comment, say no one said anything, so you guys probably don't know what I'm talking about. Cool, fine. You can hit the link to that article, or you cannot hit the link to that article. Moving along, let me take a sip. My mouth's kind of dry right now. Okay, moving along, you guys, I know you guys have heard and saw these short videos I've been talking about, but Lord Jesus, hallelujah. I know y'all had to see that short video I did that did 16K. I cannot believe this video is now at 17,000 views on YouTube. It's so crazy to me. Of course, I hope to produce content of myself getting 16,000 and 17,000 views versus, me creating a video that gets that without me in it. But, I am just so excited to just know that this video has just popped like this in 48 hours. It's already at 17,000 views. I'm like, wow. It came out of where I just deleted all of my social media profiles on all of my platforms, created a new social media profile, made it private. I friended some of you guys. And you guys haven't accepted my friend request. I'm kind of in my feelings about that. Accept my friend request. If you guys are watching me, if you know me, and I sent you a friend request, accept my friend request because my page is private. So now you will not be seeing anything that I don't want to be seeing. But yeah, I just cannot believe this. 48 hours, 17,000 views. I thought the video was really hilarious, really funny, really animated, really silly. It still makes me laugh even when I look at it. And God is good. Like, wow, just cannot believe that did that well. So shout out to all my new subs. Like, oh my gosh, like all you guys who like the hair videos and you like that video, obviously, because that video is still going right now in real time right now. When I rolled up this stream, it was at 16K. By the time I hit the like button, by the time I hit the live button to go live on the stream, it was at 17K. So I'm just waiting to see how big this video is going to get by the end of this week, because this is just like really, really crazy to me. But wow, so humbly, gratefully, like excited and like giddy about all of that. But back to the main topic. So back to the main topic on staying on task, staying focused. 50 years of hip hop, celebrate the culture of hip hop. Hip hop. Again, I know a lot of people are not about hip hop, don't celebrate hip hop, don't talk hip hop, know hip hop, buy hip hop, indulge in hip hop. Everyone has their own genre of music that they're comfortable with, and to each his own. It's all cool, no judgment here, but just expressing my view, my opinions on how I feel about the whole thing, the whole shebang. For me, when I think about the birth of hip hop, the first thing I think about is culture, Black, Brown, and Latino people. I think about having the opportunity to express yourself and connect with other people who you can't get in touch with in real time, and hearing the strain, hearing the struggle and the pain in the song and the music, and hearing these great storytellers, these people tell stories about their lives, their abuse, their poverty, their negativity, the bad things they're going through, and they're making it a positive thing in a positive way, through rap. Like that's what I think about personally for me when I think about the history and the birth of hip hop. I think about all these people that was able to adapt and have that skill to articulate themselves in that way and add music and live instruments and other people and make it albums, songs, singles, hits, whatever you want to call it. It just really reminds me of like good vibes, good energy, wanting to imitate those people, wanting to be a rapper or R&B singer, picking up the brush or the comb or anything that you could hold with a handle, pretend you were on the microphone singing your own music. It definitely takes back to that that childhood memory, being in poverty, low income, feeling like you were never gonna get out the ghetto or the hood, and wanting to be like that movie star, or that singer, or that rapper. It gives me those memories. When I think about the birth of hip hop, just seeing people come out of their comfort zone, out of their shell, be unique, be different, be transparent, take risk, and poetically, lyrically lay a verse, lay a bar, lay a rhyme, like add music to it, get someone to master it, get it all smoothed out, do a remix, do a side B, a side A, and finesse the game, add music videos to it, and different language samples to it. Like it was just really amazing thing to do. And mind you, we only thought about the birth of hip hop in America. We never thought about the birth of hip hop in UK and other countries where there's also other rappers, in different cultures, Latin communities and Latin countries. Like hip hop is everywhere. There's a version of hip hop in every culture. Just like there's a version of like church music or spiritual music or gospel music in every culture, but it's called something different. But again, tonight we're talking about the birth of hip hop. It's the 50th year anniversary, and I've seen so much content about the birth, about the 50th year anniversary of hip hop. Like literally from looking at liquor bottles of Hennessy with pictures of rappers like Nas, and again being on TikTok and YouTube, and seeing these award shows where they're doing a nomination and a celebration for hip hop on platforms such as VH1 and BET and things like that. Like it's really something that's being honored in many ways, even down to the PS5 having Snoop Dogg as an avatar, as a person who can be on the PS5 and be playing a game such as like Call of Duty or something like that. Like the story of hip hop, the birth of hip hop, the 50th anniversary of hip hop has been celebrated a lot of places all around, and it's great to see that we are here to accept this and say this is music, this is other people, another group of people express themselves in a way that we accept. It's not just about rock and roll or blues or jazz or R&B or any of those other kind of types of music. It's all being equally appreciated across the board. Makes me feel like that movement of acceptance. Like, okay, this has been introduced and accepted, and it's a part of culture, it's a part of history. It's not just a black people thing or a ghetto thing or a poverty thing or a low income thing or a negative way to look at it. It's a culture, it's accepted just like everything else is now being accepted in its own time. It also makes me think, about being a kid, watching the Apollo that came on 1 o'clock in the morning on Saturday nights, seeing people with talent get on the show, get on the stage and perform in front of a live audience of crude, mean people that would boo your ass off the stage and you were whack. Whether you was doing comedy, you were singing, you were tap dancing, whether you had like a little dummy, you was trying to do the ventriloquism, whatever your talent was, you came on the show and you gave it your best shot. And a lot of rappers came on the show, a lot of singers came on the show, And a lot of them got booed, and they came back again and again and again, to get their fame or get noticed or practice or, invest in their craft, to be what they could be. And again, like all these little things I'm saying, just at that time of age in life, around the 80s and 90s, when I was born, my version of what I saw as the birth of hip hop was these things and all the artists and people I named in the very beginning of the stream, and again, I don't have any big brothers. I didn't grow up with, a lot of men in the house. I grew up with a lot of women, but being in the Bronx, New York in the 80s and 90s and most of my life and, living in Manhattan and, never leaving New York City, I saw a lot of, what people don't see today in hip hop. Today it's about, Nicki Minaj and Lotto and Lizzo and Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, like that was not my generation. That is this generation of hip hop. And it's accepted, it's appreciated, it's liked, like I love Drake, I love Meek Mills, I love French Montana, I love The Game, I love a lot of male rappers, East Coast to West Coast, down south. I love them Franchise Boys, D4L, Luke. I love all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not, prejudiced over any kind of music, but it takes me back to, before hip hop was big. We had video music box, for people that didn't have cable, we had that channel, it was either 13, 21, or 17, or a weird odd number. And you obviously see rappers in different states and different places, rapping on stage in live concert halls or outside or, in gyms and auditoriums and paramolators, and it was small, but it was consistent, and it was the birth of it. It was the beginning of it, it was, trying to get his weight up, trying to get the foundation and support of how it used to be. People were performing outside and everything. It wasn't always Madison Square Garden and Radio City Music Hall and all these large venues with all these sold out tickets with floor seats for $2,000 and $2 million. No, it was small. It was the birth of it. It was the beginning. It was just seeing where direction was going to be. We had the rappers that rap fast. We had the rappers that rap slow. We had the rappers that had bars and dish jokes. We had the rappers who were the storytellers. The rappers were various. They were not all the same. We had the rappers that had the cool DJs that had the hooks, that had the spins, that did the intros for them, that did the crazy mixing and scratching for them, DJs get a lot of love too. DJs were heavily invested in a lot of the birth of hip hop in the beginning, because again, they were there at all the parties, the block parties, the industry parties, the house parties. They were there. They were part of the culture in a mega way. They gave some rappers, the beat to, get their freestyle or write their first verse or their hook or, get their first few songs together. So DJs were very, very part of the mainstream of it too. And we had radio in New York City. We had WBLS, we had Hot 97, we had Kiss FM, and every state and every city there's a hip hop radio station somewhere that has all the urban music that we all heard. And you think about those days before we had iPods and DVDs and CD players with the radio and the cassette and the stereo all together. We listened to the radio and heard hip hop on the radio. That was our thing. The boombox. We walked around with the boombox hearing hip hop, through the speakers in the summertime or even in the wintertime. Like depending on where you were from. Now it's much bigger. People are selling out arenas, football fields, baseball fields, like parks. Like it's getting so big that, it's beyond what a capacity of most buildings can have right now. Like at Beyonce's, tour right now, the Renaissance tour. This girl is all over the place, with her daughter on stage, dancing all over the place. And they finding the biggest venues to sell out. And they are selling out. So it's that big, and Beyonce is not a rapper, of course, but she's done duets and features with people like Slim Thug and Jay-Z, and Cameron and, Ghostface and other people like that. And, those are all rappers. That's a lot of hip hop and R&B. That's that mixture, that blend, that duet, that soft jam, that mix, that spin up, that twist off, that easy edge into another platform of music. We still get that kudos and that royalty and those rights, like, that's what it is. We see a lot of rappers and R&B singers, dating and making babies and creating new musicians going on. Like that's what we see. And it happens in every industry, not just hip hop. Of course, it happens in gospel, happens in soul, happens in Catholic, or cathedral music, spiritual, all that other good stuff, classical, opera. It happens in all those other genres, of music. But tonight I want to discuss, the birth of hip hop. The people that I saw coming up, that I can relate to, the people that I heard in my house or in my neighborhoods or, with my friends, things that I've seen, I went through. And again, it's always about, my experience and how I relate to other people because we all have this. I remember the first time I got my first rap CD cassette was from The Wiz in the Bronx, New York. There was a store called The Wiz, kind of like we have as Best Buy right now, PC Riches, and The Wiz sold cassettes, it sold records, it sold headphones and all kind of musical things you may need, chords and stuff like that. And my first hip hop cassette I got when I was in junior high school was B.I.G. Notorious B.I.G. When he was the baby on the afro, wasn't really him, but it was the afro picture of the baby, the diaper on the front cover. That was my first cassette. It was a hip hop cassette to the point where I couldn't even purchase it myself. You had to be 18 years or older to go into a store and buy anything that was considered rated R, or rated explicit content. You were not allowed to. They would really ask you for ID, like, how old are you, ma'am? You couldn't back in the day. Again, we're talking about junior high school. So junior high school for me was like from 93 to 96. That was my era of what junior high school was for me. But yes, I definitely want to, shed a light on this conversation, the birth of hip hop, the culture, 50 years, the celebration of hip hop, again for me, my era is, Remy Ma, Nas, Jay-Z, Fabulous, Jadakiss, Dipset, that's definitely my era too when I was in my 20s, really hard into hip hop, still love hip hop, but I'm not buying out every same song or download everything to Apple Tunes or buying every, video. No, I'm not doing all of that, but definitely still in the heart, still in the soul, still in the culture, still for me. And I'm just so happy to see that, hip hop has evolved to this, again, making waves, evolution, growth. Again, it wasn't always the most positive, lighted looking music, genre we had. And it had to be a struggle to make it make sense and make it look professional and worth the craft and worth the money. And we're here 50 years later, we're here. So shout out to hip hop culture, Black, brown, Latinos, Americans, everyone who comes from this era, this space where we grew up hearing this in the kitchens, outside, in school, at plays, at shows, in our daily environment. We lived and grown in areas where hip hop and R&B was a part of your lifestyle, and people like Curtis Blow and Jam Master Jay and Slick Rick and LO, like all the people I named earlier. We gotta celebrate. We gotta give homage to hip hop. It's made it a long, long way. It's a good thing. And what does it mean to me now? For me, right now, knowing that hip hop has made it 50 years and going, it means success. It means greatness. It means growth. It means evolving. It means legacy. Hip hop is at a place now where it can be passed down through generational lines. The money, the wealth, the story, the blueprint, the backprint, all that could be passed down. But that's my show, guys. This is an episode of me just doing an impromptu regarding 50 years of hip hop, celebrating the culture. Fair use. I definitely threw out a little music video earlier. Don't want no smoke. Don't want no nothing like that. But this is just me discussing 50 years of hip hop and culture. My experiences, what I grew up seeing. How I can relate. What it means to me. What I've seen back then and now. And I appreciate you all. And again, shout out to all the new subs. Shout out to everybody who keeps hitting that subscription button. Shout out to everybody who keeps liking my shorts and my reels. Well, not my reels, but my shorts. And I appreciate you guys so much. It's been a lovely evening chatting with you guys. If you guys want to jump up and talk about anything, you can definitely do that. But if not, I'm going to definitely end the stream. That's really just my ish regarding, 50 years of hip hop and the culture and what I feel about everything. And yes, I definitely forgot to mention 50 Cent. 50 Cent was definitely, somebody relevant for hip hop culture in my generation for sure. Ja Rule, he was someone, that had a good spin for a few minutes, whatever the case is. Get Rich or Die Trying was definitely a great movie. Thank you, everybody, for pulling up. I really do appreciate you. This is definitely an impromptu. I never go live, not this late at all. I didn't see anybody was going live. I didn't see anybody was going to go live. I'm like, all right, I'm going to just do my little ish. I'm going to add this to tomorrow's stream as a chit-chat. I'm like, you know what? I'm in the mood to talk about it now, so I'm going to get it off my chest now. But thank you guys for pulling up. Again, please share, like, subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment if you're catching this in the live or the replay. Shout out to all the people that appeared in the channel, especially comments with Jane and Grown. Thank you for shouting me out my huge shout out of love and support. Thank you for always being there for me. Irby Fatal, thank you for pulling up. Always be seeing you in the chats. Definitely a good support. You be a ride or die. You always showing love to all the fam. I definitely appreciate you on that one. But it's the weekend. It's Friday. Happy Friday, guys. I'm logging out. I'll check with you guys later. Have a great evening. Definitely make sure you tune into my channel tomorrow at 8 p.m. tomorrow at 8 p.m. I am definitely going to do a live wine and FaceTime, and I'm going to be discussing tomorrow the realest I've seen out here in these YouTube streets. I've seen a lot. Some things I was told I'm going to see straight up, up front. I'm like, no, I'm not going to see that. But I have definitely learned some things now. As soon, as being a serious YouTube content creator, I've definitely learned some things, seen some things that make me so question things like, what's going on here? What is this about? Is this fake? Is this real? So I'm gonna get into all of that tomorrow. It's gonna be an open discussion after I get into my ish. You guys can jump in and pull in, and feel free to add your 2 cents, 3 cents on why things are the way they are, or your perspective or your opinion if you want to. I'm definitely all good with that. You guys can definitely do that, no problem at all. But that's definitely it for me. So peace out, you guys. Definitely doing a live stream tomorrow. Look out for Wine and FaceTime, talking about the realest shit I've ever seen out here on YouTube. Things I've heard, my perspective, my views on it, and everything I didn't expect that I'm now learning, and the road from here to now, regarding YouTube as a creator, So peace out, you guys. Again, shout out to the the chat. Thank you guys for showing your love with me real quick. I'm definitely logging out right now, and again, please like, subscribe, share my channel. Again, shout out to all these new subscribers. Like, thank you guys so much. Again, I can't believe I have a video right now that's at 17,000 views. Like, I am just overjoyed at that situation. I just cannot believe that. Definitely, loving the lock journey as well. So, peace out, guys. One love. I'll catch you guys tomorrow night on Wine and FaceTime 8 p.m. talking about the realest I've ever heard and ever seen out here in these YouTube streets. Peace out, y'all.